Masters of Change Show, Season 1, Episode 3.
Masters of Change Show, bringing you real entrepreneurs, real experiences, and real advice, with big inspiration and a whole lot of soul. Whether you're looking to start or grow your business, hack life, or learn personal growth strategies, we are confident you'll hear game-changing ideas and perspectives here. Ready to learn? Always with a big smile. With your host, Bara Ali. Listen to the show 24/7 at www.
All right, thank you so much for joining in. This is Bara Ali, your host, and today I have a very special guest. My guest is Glenda Standeven. How are you doing, Glenda?
Oh, wonderful. Thank you for asking.
Oh, thank you so much for coming in and joining in. I'm sure the audience would be very happy and excited to hear about your story and learn from you. And I am also delighted to be able to do this and also learn from you. So it's a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you, Bar. I'm looking forward to chatting.
Excellent. Glenda Standeven, a hemipelvectomy amputee, an award-winning inspirational speaker, is the author of What Men Won't Talk About and Women Need to Know, a woman's perspective on prostate cancer, as well as her most recent autobiography, I Am Choosing to Smile, the inspirational life story of a bone cancer survivor, which chronicles her life adventure before, during, and long after her cancer journey. Her mission is to share her Choosing to Smile message with everyone she meets, and today she will share some of her life lessons she learned through adversity and the importance of maintaining a positive attitude. Tell me, Glenda, what's exactly I'm Choosing to Smile is all about?
Oh, that's a good question right off the bat. I wrote a book with some friends a few years ago. There was 3 of us, and we're all cancer survivors, and it sort of started this little movement called Choosing to Smile, where when you're dealt not such a good hand, you have a choice. You can either choose to smile or choose to be bitter, angry, and we decided that we would rather smile and make the best of it and be living our life joyfully rather than in a place of anger. And we wrote this book called Choosing to Smile, and one of the ladies that was the co-authors was terminally ill with her cancer when she wrote it. And we were looking at her thinking, are you sure you want to devote so much time when you have so little left to doing this? And she said, yes, I want to leave a legacy. And that's where the Choosing to Smile came from. The 3 of us, well, there was actually 4, and 2 of the 4 were terminally ill with cancer. One was too ill to finish her story. Julie finished her story and lived for another year after we launched the book, promoting it. Even in her hospice room, she was signing copies of the book, Choosing to Smile. And then after Julie died, we no longer published. And I took my story out of the book, updated it to 2014, and said, I'm choosing to smile. And that's where the book title came from. I am choosing to smile, just on my own now. So wow. It's a journey.
Tell me, how did you come up with the name? Coming up with a name is something very, very hard. So tell me a little bit about the creative mechanism, the creative thinking that went into making this happen, bringing the name forward.
You know, that's a really good question, too, because so many people think that the writing the story is the hard part, but writing your story is easy. You've lived it, you know it, you write it.
Right.
Coming up with a title for the book, you don't want to just call it Glenda's story.
Right. Or,
Julie, Glenda, and Michelle's story. It's nothing like that. You want something that's catchy, something that epitomizes the whole theme of your book. And for us, it was the Choosing to Smile was what we were doing. And we were sitting around at lunch and tossing around all sorts of ideas. And I remember one of them that was all our bits and pieces, because Michelle had lost her spleen, Julie had lost a breast, and I'd lost a leg, my hip, my pelvis to cancer, and we were thinking all our bits and pieces, and we thought, well, that would be okay, that's not bad. And someone else said no expiration date, and we thought, yeah, but that makes us sound like spoiled milk, and we were just tossing these around and went, one of the things that came out of that meeting was we were all laughing and we were all smiling despite our situation. And we went, we are always choosing to smile. And we looked at each other and went, that's it.
Wow, the name came
the name
about.
of the book. Yeah.
Incredible. And I know it's the hardest thing is, as you said, you write the story is the easiest part, but coming up with a name is like 2 billion names come to your mind and you don't know which one. And also that was also one of the challenges I was facing. What do I call this show? And thinking until coming up with a name. And it's been a challenge. I know where the show is going to take me and what is going to happen with the show, but what do you call it? It's always a struggle. And I guess it's coming up with a brand because yes, the story, but you become the brand. The story becomes the brand. So tell me, Glenda, have you always smiled, even when you were first diagnosed?
Well, that's. I want to say yes, but truthfully, you do have days where you go, "This really sucks." This really, really sucks, and that's okay. I think as long as you don't stay too long in that space and that moment, and you realize that, yes, it's not the best situation, but I'm still here right now. I'm still here.
Right.
And what am I going to do with my here, my now? And that to me always seemed to snap me out of it whenever I'd get in a little bit of a funk or something. And you just kind of go, no, you know what? I don't like the way this feels. And I always say, if something isn't making you feel happy, if it's not making you feel satisfied or inspired or content or proud or like a sense of accomplishment, then why exactly are you doing it? I decided, I want to be happy, and I like choosing to smile.
Incredible. It's an incredible story. Knowing you personally, I mean, I'm honored because I got to know you personally and I understand who you are. And, to the audience, that's why I'm trying to highlight who you are, because to them, a lot of them might not be able to see you in person, but I want them to understand how positive you are, what you were able to accomplish, and what you made out of what you had, and what you didn't have. And it's sometimes it's so easy to go and say, my God, why am I like this? Or why this has happened to me? But the hardest part is really to snap out of it, or not, maybe snapping out of it is not the right word, but doing something with it, saying that this is what I have and I can make the best out of it.
Absolutely. I think one of my favorite expressions is when people say, oh, you've certainly been dealt a lot of lemons in your life. And I'm going, yeah, but I'm not just making lemonade from those lemons. I'm going for lemon meringue pie. I'm going for even more and better, and, making something good out of something bad. I really am an optimist. I sort of epitomize that word optimist, where you go, okay, something bad happened. Now, how am I going to use it to make it into something good? How am I going to spin this? How am I going to look at this and learn from it and make it help someone else maybe, and make me grow better as a person? There's always a way.
I understand.
I'm going to share a little story about my brother. When my brother passed away at 16 in a tragic car accident, and he died on my sister's birthday, buried on my birthday, 4 days before my sisters had a double wedding. All these horrible celebration things that were meant to be happy, and all of a sudden here we are with our youngest only brother, a family of 4 girls and my little brother, and he's gone tragically in a car accident. So people went, how can there be a God? Or how can this make sense? How can you possibly make anything good out of this? And I looked at them and I went, I had the privilege of having this amazing person in my life for 16 years. 16 amazing years. I knew this lovely, lovely person. It hurts to have him gone. Absolutely. No denying. 100%. But would I trade never having known him for the pain of losing him?
Wow.
And the answer is no. I want those 16 years of memories with him. And I wouldn't give those up. I'm sad he was taken too soon. And everyone who loses someone will relate to that. You know the pain of losing them, but would you trade the joy you had in knowing them for never having known them and not having to experience the pain of losing them? And maybe some people would say yes. They would gladly trade not knowing them and never having lived, but I think those ones are a little narcissistic. So for me, it's just one of those things I would never trade. I'm so glad to have had some of the people in my life. It hurts to lose them, but I wouldn't trade. Always something that's going to be tragic in your life. And you know that.
Absolutely.
There's always tragedy. You came from a place that wasn't so wonderful, and to come to opportunity and learn and give and share and give back is what makes sense of it all.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So this is something I know about you, and I wanted to ask you about it. It's, if you remember, you always, your last name is Standeven, and I know how you actually change it to be Stand Even. Can you tell us a little bit about this and how the idea came from? Every time I look at this video, I just get more inspired about it.
It's actually, that was one of those serendipitous things that happen, and you just think, okay, well, this was meant to be. When I was at GF Strong after losing my leg, my hip, my pelvis to bone cancer, and I went to GF Strong, the rehabilitation center, to learn how to use a wheelchair, how to use crutches, how to maybe get an artificial leg, and how to just live as a disabled person in an able-bodied world. And my first day at GF Strong, I was in a wheelchair, and I wheeled into the gymnasium, and I had a little lap blanket over my lap because I didn't want anyone to notice that I only had one leg, which was silly because everybody at GF Strong had some sort of disability. So the first thing I hear is laughter, and I'm thinking to myself, oh, this is going to be the best place to get well. And I put my shoulders back, wheel in a little faster over to where all the therapists are standing in their little circle. And they're all laughing, and they've got their clipboards. And I look at them, and I said, "Good morning, everybody, and what's funny on a Monday?" And they didn't look down at me because they're used to everyone being in wheelchairs or crutches or something. And They just kept on laughing, and they said, "Oh, we just can't wait to meet this amputee whose last name is Standeven." And I went, "Oh my gosh, that is so funny. That is really funny." I put my hand up in the air and I went, "Good morning, that would be me." And then they laughed even harder. So it was just, I hadn't realized that my last name, Standeven, and that's actually how you pronounce it, is Standeven. And my husband and I had always laughed about how funny it is to have a last name, Standeven. When people go, "Oh, is that Stan and your first name, and Devon is your last name?" And we're going, "No, it's just Standeven. It's like they tell you to do in the Army, Standeven." And so when my husband came to GF Strong for a visit, and I was telling him this funny story about how ironic it is that his wife that he married, who had two legs, is now an amputee with one leg, and my last name is Standeven, and I can't. I'm going, I can't stand even. I can hardly stand at all. And it's pretty darn funny that here I am stuck with this last name forever. And my husband looked at me and he goes, "Oh, honey, now you got to change your first name." I'm looking at him, and I said, "What do you mean, change my first name?" And he goes, "Yeah, I think you need to change it to Eileen." And I stopped for a minute. I went, Eileen, Standeven. Well, it's brilliant, but I didn't do it.
Yeah, I think it's very brilliant. It's not about Eileen or anything, but I think when I saw this a few years ago, because the video that you had, still watches sometimes. And, you say, here I am standing even. And I think you do, I think it would be great story, another great story of your stories to have it called a stand even. I don't think I see it as I leaning or anything, but I see how strong you are and how you were able to make it, to spin it and put this positive energy on it. I mean, that's who you are, standing even no matter what.
And it's funny you should say that, Bar, because the new cover of my book with just my story in it, called I Am Choosing to Smile, that is the cover shot, is me standing tall, standing straight, standing even. Amazing. With my crutches held high in the air in the victory sign over my head. And that's exactly right. Standing even. It was something I learned over time, how to do that. Yep. And I'm very happy that I can stand even. People have asked me, is that your stage name? And I'm going, nope, just somebody upstairs has a really great sense of humor.
So on the same topic, how can you really be grateful when you've obviously lost a very significant amount of your body to cancer, as well as your husband's also lost a very important part of his autonomy?
Yes, he has. He's lost a very important part of his anatomy. He's one of those prostate cancer survivors, and some people. You look at some people and you can't see their scars. You can't see what has happened to them because it's all carried on the inside.
Right. And
their surgeries and their hurts are on the inside. They don't wear them like I wear mine. I don't wear a prosthesis, so it's obvious. People look at me, they know that something is missing, that I have been through some kind of a struggle. And it's, I think, for me, being grateful every day just to be here is part of my character and part of my nature. And I have lost a very significant amount of my body to cancer, and I'm not willing to give up anything else, to give up happy days, to give up the opportunity to smile, to give up the opportunity to be happy. Cancer is not going to take that away from me.
Right.
It's taken enough. Thank you very much. Being grateful in spite of what you've lost, being grateful for what you still have, rather than dwelling on the things that we don't have.
How do you market for this target market, specifically about prostate cancer? Can you tell me a little bit about it, and what are the challenges you face as an author to really get the book out, published? I mean, nowadays maybe publishing is not the biggest challenge, but what are the other challenges? Or maybe it is the biggest challenge. Yeah. Can you tell me a little bit about it?
Yeah, that's another very good question, Bara. And any authors who are listening, or people who want to write their story, the first thing you need to do is actually write it. Don't just dream about it. Don't just say one day. Just sit down and start writing.
So tip number one, writing it.
Yeah, you have to sit down and write. Pick a time that works for you. For me, it was midnight. That's when the house was quiet, when my thoughts were quiet, when I could focus, and I would write all night. But for some people, it might be during the day or early morning or whenever. It's their time. So writing the story is the most important. You can think about how you're going to market it and everything else, but if you don't have the book, there's nothing to market.
Right.
And that is the most difficult thing for me.
So writing the book.
Other people might not have. No, writing the book was easy. Marketing is the most difficult.
Okay.
Marketing is the most difficult. You can't be good at everything.
Correct.
And I find that very, very challenging to market myself because I was brought up in a home where the sort of the mantra was don't brag, don't boast, don't toot your own horn,
right.
Be modest, be humble.
Right.
You don't tell people, this is a great book, you need to read it. It's
right.
fabulous, it'll save lives, and to do that, I find really hard. It's like, oh, thank you. I'm so glad you like my book.
It's a challenge. I understand. It's a challenge. It's so hard to brag about ourselves. I don't know if it's as a human nature, it's something, a trait that we have, or I don't know.
No, I've met lots of people who have no trouble bragging about themselves.
Oh, really? Okay. Well, good to know.
But those are the ones who are very successful marketers.
Right.
They are absolutely successful because they don't have a problem saying, this is wonderful, you need to buy it, you need to have it, you need to own it.
Correct.
And how many boxes do you want?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's not something that comes easily to me. So finding people that will fill that need for you, because there are people who, how's that expression? Can sell ice to Eskimos.
Correct.
They are very good at what they do. And if you have that kind of a budget, then absolutely, hire someone to help you out. If you don't have that budget, then you're going to have to figure out creative ways. Now there's so many ways with Facebook and internet, online, ebooks, Amazon print on demand, and all these other things that you can do that you don't really have to be there to sell. You can sit at your computer in your pajamas and go, hey, I've got a special on, or hey, have you heard about my book? And you can visit different sites and post things up. I don't do enough of that either. I really should do it, and there's that should word, but I'm more of a if you hear about it, it was meant to be. You were supposed to find the book. So everybody who's listening in there, you were meant to hear this. You were meant to get the book.
Absolutely. We'll get you people to, that's also, getting people to learn about your story, getting to learn about the book. The book itself is inspiration. I mean, I hope that you sell a package where you come with the book, because you're more inspiration. I mean, I know the book has the story, but maybe one day you'll have a reading and people can come to enjoy your presence. So it's incredible.
Well, thank you, Bar. That's actually a very nice idea too. And I do a lot of speaking. People will say, Glenda, we need a humorous speech, and we know you've got a lot of funny stories, and will you come and share some humor? I love doing the Hope Health Fair. They usually have a focus on humor or family or something like that, where you can go and you can talk to a whole lot of people and inspire with just laughter. Laughter is such good medicine.
Exactly. And I know that without laughter, I die. I'm me myself. So it's incredible how we. To me, I think it relieves all my stress when I watch comedy or something is funny or humorous, and how messages get delivered by using humor. So it's incredible.
Oh, absolutely, that is so true. And for pain, even pain management, laughter is such good pain management.
Exactly.
When I first lost my leg, I remember thinking, oh my gosh, I cannot possibly survive this pain. I had expected that when they cut the leg off, the pain would be gone and I would just bounce right up and I'd be fine. And I hadn't thought it through, obviously, that this is going to really hurt. And the phantom pain was beyond horrible. And I remember in bed just with wave after wave after wave of pain washing over me and thinking, I can't do this. This is going to kill me. And my mom came in and she very gingerly opened the door and so soft and quiet. And she goes, honey, is there anything I can get you? Is there anything you need? And I looked at her and I went, oh, Mom, I could really use a leg. And I thought it was so funny. And my mom, she looked at me and she didn't know how to respond. And so the look on her face started me giggling, and I started to laugh, and then she started to laugh, and we laughed so hard for probably 10 minutes. And those 10 minutes of just belly laughing, I realized that, oh my gosh, the whole time I was laughing, I didn't feel the pain in my leg. I didn't feel that hurt. So it was like a little epiphany moment going, you know what? this laughing stuff is really good medicine. It's better than the drugs. It's better than any pain pills that I could take. It just works. So yeah, laughter is definitely good medicine.
It is medicine. So tell me, Glenda, about a quote that really resonates with you. Something that I know that your story is a big quote, and what happened to you is a big quote. But any quote that really connects with you, and when you tell a story, it really you use that, or even if it's a metaphor.
I do a lot of volunteer work, Farah, and I like to give back to the community, and won a few awards and things and that for volunteerism in the community. And one of my favorite quotes, I heard Deepak Chopra say it on an interview, and it wasn't his originally, it was someone else's, but that's one of the first time I heard it was from him, and it was just says, "It's amazing. It's amazing what you can accomplish when you don't care who gets the credit."
Right.
And for me, I just went, I love that.
I really love that as well.
When you work for the better good and you've got that end goal in mind, it doesn't matter if you get the credit or someone else gets the credit, the job gets done.
Absolutely.
And that's the end goal. So for me, I just love that. I thought, you know what? That's something I believe in very much, is that you can get so much accomplished when you don't care and you're not standing there going, look at me, look at what I did, look at me, look at me, look at me.
Yeah.
And the work gets done, and then people are going, wow, that was an amazing event, or wow, wasn't that a great party, but so many hands contributed to get the job done.
Absolutely.
So
that was incredible. And I know it's about service and paying it forward. And it doesn't matter who gets the credit, but the objective is really giving it out.
Absolutely.
You know,
absolutely.
And helping people and doing whatever it takes. So thank you so much for sharing such a powerful message.
I'm happy to. Very happy to. It's one of my favorite quotes.
Excellent. So tell us, Glenda, if you had to do all of this as an author, rewriting the book, what would you change? Would you change anything about it? Would you do something differently?
You know, I don't think I would do anything differently. I have really enjoyed the whole journey, the way I did it.
Okay.
And that's what I think one of the things that people have to be aware of, that everybody's journey will be different, and you make it into the one that suits you.
Absolutely.
And the one that works for you. So for me, it's sort of a moot point, because I can't go back. And if I did go back, I'm very content with the way my life has unfolded, and the way the book has gone, and the way it's reaching. In the future, I want that book to go further. But so to do it all over again, I'm just starting.
Okay, excellent. This was the end of episode 3 of the Masters of Change show. You can listen to part 2 of the interview with Glenda Standeven at mastersofchangeshow.com. If you like the episode, please subscribe on iTunes, like our page on Facebook, and share your favorite part with your friends. Until the next episode, have a great day.
Masters of Change Show, bringing you the most unique, brilliant, and inspiring entrepreneurs who will share their expertise to help you start and grow your business, or inspire you to follow your passion and live your dreams. With your host, and a big smile, Bara Ali. Listen to the show 24/7 at www.mastersofchangeshow.com.